How are we doing today? Percussion. It's an exciting day. We're getting to 16th notes. Now, this is a really important skill, and everybody plays 16th notes. You just get to them about a year before everybody else does. So we've been doing 16th notes. We did a little of this before we left, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 and jump in on that. So listen carefully. Your goal is trying to make those as even as possible. Watch your hands and try to get the same stick height from both right and left. Make sure your hands are turned over, thumbs on the side, all that other good stuff. All right. Now, that's 16th notes. That's the basis. I mean, you're playing that. All right. Now we talk about reading it. Okay. Let's look at this little chart I drew up for you. And yes, I know the note heads are going the wrong direction because the phone camera reverses everything. Whole note, 4 beats. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half note, 2 beats. 1, 2. Quarter note, 1 beat. Eighth note, half a beat. We usually see them as 2, right? 1 and. 1 and. All right. This is what a 16th note looks like. Eighth note has 1 flag or 1 beam. The 16th note has 2 flags or 2 beams. And it takes 4 of them to equal a beat. Where over here we had 1 and. Down here we have 1 E and a. And I still wrote that backwards. Trying to write backwards, I still goof that up. The 1 should have been over here. 1 E and a. Okay. 1 E and a. All right. That's how we count that. 1 E and a in groups of 4. So if you're having trouble doing this, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, then break it down to just a beat. 1 and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. This is the check pattern. This is eighth notes, and that doesn't change. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Make sure you're getting the last stroke here. 2 and I see this a lot, and we were doing it before we left too. People would go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, and we'd leave out that last 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1. Get that last turnaround back to the beat. So 1 and 2 and 1. All right. So if you look in the book, we're on page 21A. All right. 21A it shows all the stuff I just showed you. The breakdown on eighth notes, on 16th notes, how they line up to eighth notes, how they line up to quarter notes and half notes. All right. Now, and additionally, on line 3.23, there's something else new. One of the things I'm not fond of this book, how they want to throw 2 new things in at once. Okay. So you've got 16th notes, but you also have something else that's called interior repeats. Fortunately, it's not very hard. Normally, we've had a repeat, we went all the way back to the beginning, right? Well, interior repeats, you notice on this line, after you play the first 2 eighth notes, there's a repeat, but the dots are on the wrong side. When you get to the end, there's another repeat. And instead of going back to the beginning, you go back to that first repeat sign. Think of it as brackets. You play everything in between. You don't go back to the beginning. You play everything in between. Now, if that other repeat sign wasn't there, yes, you go all the way to the beginning. But think of it as like a wall that blocks you from going to the beginning. You're going to go here, and then you repeat everything in between. So for this song, it's almost the whole song. It's just not those 2 pickup notes at the beginning. So let's clap and count this thing first, okay? Kind of slow, so we can do some quick clapping. Ready and go. 2 and 1, 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1, 2 and 1 E and a 2, 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 2, 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 2. All of this is not nearly as important as that you can say this. 1 E and a 2. It is really important that you be able to vocalize that. Because if you can say it, you can play it. And it also means you truly get what's going on there. You're not just maybe repeating what's going on in the video, or if in class we'd be worried about you repeating what's going on next to you. Say these lines to death. All right, so we're going to go on and play it, and then say it as you play it. Ready? 1 and 2 and 1. Sorry, 2 plus 1. Ready? 1 and 2 and 1. 2 and 1. 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1. 2 and 1 E and a 2. 1, 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1. 2 and 1 E and a 2. Repeat. 1, 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1. 2 and 1 E and a 2. 1, 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 2. All right. If we were in school, I'd give you several other handouts to help you really wrap your mind around 16ths. But this is sufficient. This is all correct if you'll just spend the time studying on it and saying it. Say it, say it, say it. Pat your foot. It will all line up for you just fine. Plus the fact, like I said, we were doing this before. So it's not like you haven't moved in 16th speed already. Okay, so next line. 3.24. And as if reading 16th notes wasn't a big of an issue, you were also now, we got all the other visual clutter of this line. We got bass drum, we got spinning cymbal, we got wood block, we got 2 rows of music. There's a lot going on there visually. So you just have to spend time doing it over and over and getting used to reading the roadmap. All right, so in 4/4 time, let's count it first. We're just going to count it. Ready and go. 1, 2 E and a 3 and 4. 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 1 and 2 E and a 3, 4. 1 and 2 E and a 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3 E and a 4. 1, 2 and 3 E and a 4. Do that till you're really sure you've got it. Here we go. Playing. Ready and go. 1, 2 E and a 3 and 4. 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 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4. 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4. The stuff it talks about with form and style, I'm not going to get into that now. We can get into that when we cover it on the mallet side. All right, but let's just focus on the 16th notes at the moment. Same thing on 3.225. Okay, 3.25. So now, in addition to some 16th notes, we have some flams in this, flam taps. That's all. Okay, flam taps is the only rudiment in this. So here we go. 3.25. Let's say it. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 and 1 and 2, 3 E and a 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 E and a 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 1, 2 E and a 3 E and a 1, 2, 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. All right. I neglected to mention before we started that this song switches to 3/4 time in the middle. It's called a meter change. We start off 4/4, we switch to 3/4. All right. If you're having trouble keeping up with 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, you can just airplay it and make sure you say it. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. Eventually, your hands will start to match your voice as long as you are saying that out loud. Don't mumble. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. You'll get there, I promise. All right, let's play it. 2 and ready and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and a 4. Flam, tap, flam, tap. 1, 2, 3 and a 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and a 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 1, 2 E and a 3 E and a 1, 2, 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. I promise you, this is important. The hands, the physical part, this is important. Hands turned over, all that good stuff. But this is the problem with most drummers. It's thinking and vocalizing it, not here. If you really want to get to where you can read music and play things with confidence, say it, say it, say it. All right? That's all we're going to do today. We are done with that. Practice those 16th to dance. Just do your warm-ups until your hands start to feel comfortable. They will. Remember, once upon a time, we couldn't hardly do this. So you'll get there, I promise. See ya.